All right, welcome to another video. My name is Anthony, and today we're going to take a look at, believe it or not, kids trafficking kids. But first, I want to say a big thank you to BNI Falmouth in Maine. They purchase our coffee via group order, and if you're a business owner and you'd like to be a part of a group that refers hundreds of thousands of dollars per year to one another, then I encourage you to click the link in the description box below. And I also want to say a special thank you to Natalie Pollock, who helped organize BNI's group order. And if you need business assistance, check her out. There's also a link for Natalie in the description box below. All right. So one more thing. This video is brought to you by Impact Health Share. If you believe the healthcare system is broken in our country, and/or if you'd like to see if you can save 50% or up to 50% on what you're spending currently, again, click the link below, and you can also get a quote in less than a minute. All right, so with that out of the way, let's get to it. All right, so when it comes to human trafficking, most people are influenced in their thinking about how people become victims of human trafficking, by TV, movies. If you've seen the popular movie Taken or a lot of these TV shows, there's a lot of abductions, and I think because there's a lot of, hype or whatever you want to call it surrounding that, it's more entertaining, if you will, engaging for the audience. I don't know what words to use, but anyway. If you saw a recent post of mine, if you follow me on Instagram, social media, which I hope you do. If you don't, please do so. You'll see that I posted a while back that 99.6% of people are not kidnapped. Okay? That's not pretty much how traffickers are doing it. All right? And that's because traffickers continue to find new and better ways. Right? Because there's online deception. That's huge. There's dating, which is huge. All right, I think most people know about the online deception. They may not know how successful it is, but a lot less people really know about dating. Okay, you don't hear too much talk about dating and human trafficking, but that's how many traffickers get their victims. And the last one, which is again the most surprising, I think to most people, is kids trafficking kids. But here's the question: why would kids traffic other kids? All right, and why? Well, before I ask that question, here's the thing: why do people not suspect it? Right? Because kids, who's going to fly under the radar better than a kid? Right? I mean, if you're looking for anybody or thinking about or on guard against trafficking, either for yourself or for your kids, you're the last person you're going to think of to be wary of is a kid. All right? Of course, that's why I'm doing this video. Okay? Now, so why they do it? Well, here's some of the reasons why, right? Threats. Okay? Threats of violence. Now, many traffickers are known as guerrilla pimps. Okay? Guerrilla pimps are known for, and they got the name because they're extremely violent, right? If you beat someone within an inch of their life in front of everybody, or their life is ended in front of everyone, guess what? Everyone's going to toe the line. So this is why, this is a motivation that some kids have. Or maybe you're a kid with a kid. All right? So they use that against you and say, hey, they threaten the child. And so you're going to toe the line and do what you're told to do. And then, of course, maybe you have a sibling, or they're threatening your little sister, your little brother. They threaten to take the life of your family members. Okay, so there's a lot of reasons why. Whatever it takes, they will do to get kids or anyone to do their bidding. Right? So they don't have to do it. Right? So here's a story related to that. A few years ago, well, actually, just before starting Fight Coffee, I was at an awareness seminar, and about 3 seats to my right, there's a woman here in the state of Maine, okay? And I'm from New York City, so, I'm, millions of people in New York, right? Here in the state of Maine, we have just barely over 1 million, right? So we're in an extremely rural state, you know. And again, a lot of people think, oh, inner city, that's where I need to be concerned. Anyway, so she's telling a story about her daughter who was struggling, who was hurting, all right? And what do we know? That's who traffickers seek, and they seem to be great at it. But of course, with social media, it doesn't make it difficult to find hurting people, because kids post most everything. You know, they put it out there for everyone to see. So anyway, this girl's hurting, and she's dating this boy. I think I don't remember the ages exactly, but I'm pretty sure the girl was 16, her boyfriend was 15. Anyway, she disappears. She runs away from home with this boy, and they're at the airport. Now this boy is getting ready to send this girl off to a trafficker, okay? And so the only reason she got caught and rescued was because at the airport she swiped her credit card. That sent out the signal. The police were alerted, and they stopped this. Here's the point, right? A 15-year-old kid is, you know, the traffickers doing the traffickers' bidding to get this girl. Now, I didn't get the full story. I don't know, you know, was this kid like, oh, my uncle will take care of you. You know, your parents are bad parents. My uncle's great. I'll send you to him. I don't know what the story is, but of course they make up stories. It doesn't matter what the story is. They make up stories that are believable to the person hearing it. And many of these kids just simply walk into these scenarios. All right, so they don't need to be abducted. So, you know, and I don't know what the boys' motives were, but here's what we do know, and you know, I learned this, at least, you know, I'm sure people in this industry know this, but Epstein would actually pay kids to go get other kids. All right, so there are kids who will literally go out for money, for the love of money, and go recruit other kids. And you think, wow, you know, I'm thinking, how depraved must we be as a society or as an individual that as a young person, for just what, a couple $100 maybe, you're going to go out and get somebody, and you're going to get paid to do that? What is corrupting our kids? Well, I'll tell you one thing that absolutely we know is corrupting the minds of our children, and that's online porn, right? And if they've been on it since they were in 4th or 5th grade, right? By the time they're in 8th, 9th, they're already addicts. All right? So, but this is crazy, and you say, well, how many kids is this? It's more than we like to think or imagine. All right? So that's how some kids are doing it. Of course, then you have the school of porn. All right? I call it the school of porn. All right? You're watching this, and most of it is violent. A lot of it is violent. A lot of, you know, there's multiples, and there's all kinds of scenarios. And you watch this scenario. Kids are watching that scenario. You add them all up, they think to themselves, well, you know what? I mean, I could do that. I could do that. And who's thinking these thoughts? Who's thinking I can do that? Addicts. We don't think of kids as addicts. You know, we think of, you know, my uncle, my cousin, you know, teenagers or 20-year-olds or older, right? But kids can be addicts at 4th, 5th, 6th grade. They can become addicted early on and remain addicts because they continue to have access, right, to the internet, to porn. And so this is the addict mindset. I was an addict. Of course, mine was alcohol, drugs, and cocaine, but the mindsets are very similar. All you can care and think about is getting your fix. All right, so another story. An 8th grade boy is online. He has, you know, he's being exposed to porn. So then he introduces his 6th grade girlfriend. And from there, and let me just say, I wish I would have saved this story. I try to save everything, document everything, because I want legit things. There's people out there, you know, just making up stuff or stretching the truth. I mean, you don't need to stretch anything. Tell the truth, and that's all you need to tell. Anyway, so again, I apologize that I can't link to this story, but because I follow a lot of people in the human trafficking, online, right? So anyway, so that's where I heard the story. So anyway, he introduces her. Then he suggests, hey, why don't we practice what we're seeing, right? And that's right. Isn't that the obvious next step? And then so from there, whether they watch this together, whether they were in agreement or not, he gets his friends involved. Okay, and whether he was charging money or not with the friends, I don't know. But then the next step is, hey, we can make some money here. And so then he made the buyer pool larger, right? Extended out past his friends, maybe still to other people he know. The point is, it enlarged. So, I mean, here's the thing. You might think, well, that's some rare case. No, I mean, if you have an entire generation raised on this, and again, I'm going to have a link to this, to a generation raised on porn. I have a link to it in the description box. When you have a generation raised on this, it becomes part of the culture and society. It's not going to be some rare thing. It's going to be common. It's going to be extremely common. More common than anybody wants to think or imagine. But this is the world we're living in. Now, something to consider in all these scenarios, right? Kids get other kids and sometimes parents to trust them, and that's the key. They get them to trust them. And from there, the trust results in a yes. Yes to what? Yes to go to a sleepover. Yes to go to a party, the mall, the park, wherever. It doesn't matter what the yes is. People voluntarily, again, kids and parents, oh yeah, you want to go to the mall? And then wherever it is that they go, as was in the case that I told you, the story of the teenager, the 15-year-old boy who brought his girlfriend to the airport, they bring them and then they hand them off to wherever they went. And then your kid doesn't come back anymore. You don't see them ever again. And they're voluntarily walking into the trap. Now, I'll say this and repeat it, knowing that most can't, for whatever reason, hear this. Most people can't hear this. It sounds crazy, but trust no one, right? I'm saying it again, trust no one, because the majority of people, males especially, are addicted to porn, and porn changes people. It changes how you think, changes literally, physiologically, your brain. It warps your soul, all right? So, I mean, and here's the thing. If someone's addicted to it, you can't know. And how do you know that someone's on porn? Normally, like with a typical drug, like when I was a drug addict, you could tell. You look at people, you're like, that person, it's kind of easy to see, generally speaking. Yes, some people fly under the radar with their drug addiction, but I'm just saying, this porn is just one of the hardest things. How are you going to know? You're not going to know, right? And whether it's your uncle, your cousin, it doesn't, family, friends, whomever, the babysitter. The babysitter lets the boyfriend in. I mean, the scenarios go on and on. You can't trust anyone because you don't know what's going on. Now, who will heed this warning? Who will listen? I mean, I don't know. And I think, and I say very few people, because I think at the end of the day, people think to themselves, what are the odds, right? What are the odds of this happening to me or someone that I know? Well, again, they're very high, but I'll tell you this, the odds are exponentially increasing. I mean, you can't have a generation raised on, has internet access, they're raised on porn, and not think this is just going to explode in our country. In that documentary that I linked to, they talk about we are on the greatest social experiment in the world has ever seen as it relates to pornography and what's going to do to a society. We can already see, man, we are messed up, right? I mean, basically what we're doing is when we don't heed the warning, we're just like playing Russian roulette with our kids. You give a kid a smartphone with internet access, what are you doing? You are playing Russian roulette. And I hate to say it, but if you leave kids unsupervised with other kids, you let them go to the mall, you let them go here, you let them go there. Oh, I troll. Oh, they're in public. Oh, no. Here's the bottom line. While the odds may be low, you are still playing Russian roulette with the life of your child, whether it's your life or the life of your child. We really can't trust people anymore. I mean, who can you trust? I don't know. I'm just saying alone with kids. That's what I'm saying. And that's kids with kids alone, right? So here's the thing, and I'm wrapping up with this. Kids are disappearing in our country by the thousands every year. I mean, that should cause alarm. That should cause us to be like, hey, what am I doing? What am I not doing? What do I need to do? As a parent, as an individual, when this many people are disappearing by the thousands every year in our country, and it's only getting worse, the numbers are multiplying. They're doubling every 3 to 4 or 5 years. Doubling. I mean, do the math on that. All right, 5 to 10, 15 years from now. Where's that going to be? Well, oh, my kids will be graduated by then. What about your grandkids? I mean, we got to do something now before this thing gets so far out of control that there's almost nothing that can be done. I mean, it's really crazy. And I guess that's my prayer. My hope is that these videos will help to ensure that this nightmare doesn't happen to you or anyone that you care about. That you're watching these videos, I'm giving you some information that you can use to help have great conversations with your kids, to protect your kids better than maybe what you're doing right now, or maybe to wake up and be like, wow, I need to do something because I'm really not doing anything. I mean, my kids have, unfettered access and I'm not doing anything. There are options. There are alternatives. I encourage you to check those out. I did a video on kids say smartphones. Check that out on my YouTube channel. I'll have the link below on that. So please, heed the warning. I hope you'll hear this. Trust no one. So there you go. I'll leave you with that. If you found this video valuable, helpful in any way, please like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. What do you think? Am I just paranoid, schizophrenic? Am I out of control, thinking that having the audacity to actually suggest that people should trust no one? I mean, do you think that the odds are so low that we really don't need to worry about this? What do you think? I would love to hear from you. So again, comment, share, and hey, thank you so much for watching this video, and we'll catch you in the next one.